So, what are the top three mistakes I see contractors make when installing heat pumps? Well, my name's Keaton, and I'm the owner of Calgary's Heat Pump Guy, and here we specialize in heat pumps. So, the number one mistake I've noticed is with some heat pumps, they require filter dryers to be inside, and some heat pumps don't. That being said, it's always a good practice to install filter dryers because they stop debris from going through your system and trap moisture that's going mixed in with the refrigerant. But one of the problems when it comes to those filter dryers is people forget heat pumps change the direction of flow. So flow goes through the liquid line one way, and then in heating mode, flow changes the direction. And most filter dryers, they're only one directional. So they have flow designed in one direction because they have a screen and a filter. But with a heat pump, you need to install bi-flow filter dryers. And I see far too often people don't install the bi-flow filter dryers, they install the standard one way. And what happens is there's these little pieces inside the filter dryer called desiccant. And when they break free off a hardcore filter dryer, they can actually go backwards, and those little pieces of desiccant can get stuck in metering devices or your compressor, which causes problems. So it's really important to read the manuals of your units and find out if a filter dryer is required or not. It's always a good practice to put them in, and if you do, make sure you put in a bi-flow filter dryer. The second biggest error I see people make when installing heat pumps is forgetting to put the heat pump on a stand or a wall bracket. If the heat pump is used for air conditioning only, the stand or the wall bracket is not required. But if you're using the heat pump as a true heat pump where you're going to run the heating mode in the winter, the coils on the back are designed to actually build up frost. And when it goes into defrost, that frost melts. And if it's not elevated above the ground, above the snow line, that water eventually builds up. And when it freezes and thaws, it will damage the unit over time. It will damage the coil or the condenser fan. So if you're using the heat pump as a true heat pump where it's running all year round, you need to put it on a stand similar to this. This is a 2-ton stand for the unit beside me here. There's larger for the 3-ton. Or you need to put it on wall brackets. You need it to get above that snow line. And if your contractor doesn't do this, you're going to have problems down the line. But if you use it for air conditioning only, it is fine to mount on the ground. But down the line, if you want to use it as a heat pump, there will be an additional cost to adjust the line set, the electrical, to get it off the ground onto a stand of some kind. So the third most common error I see people make is they fail to install a surge protector on these units. So with having variable speed compressors and condenser fans and power boards, if these units see a brownout or a surge, it's very easy to fry the capacitors on these boards or the motors themselves, which will come at a very big cost to repair. The parts are usually covered most of the time, but the labor's not. So outside, you'll usually see a disconnect installed. That's your power on off switch. And usually out the side of the disconnect, you're going to see this device, usually with a green light on it. I'll show a picture here. This device is a surge protector, similar to like a power bar you might see you plug your computer in to protect it from a surge. And these units, you really want to protect them from a surge. It's not a very big cost to install a surge protector. It's almost like insurance on your heat pump. So if you have a contractor installing a heat pump for you, you want to take a look at the disconnect and make sure off the side of it you see some kind of surge protector. There's many different styles. Usually they have a green light that says your unit is safe. And if that green light turns to red, usually it's surged. And depending on the model you have, you might have to replace that surge protector with a new one. Some of them, they protect your system once from a surge and then they need to be replaced. Some of them can go through multiple surges.